Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm told that this high-tech building that one can be heard without even holding a mic to one's mouth, so seems to work. Well, welcome, everyone. My name is Jack Citrin. I'm the director of the Institute of Governmental Studies, and on behalf of myself and Professor Martin Sanchez-Jankowski, who's the director of the Institute for the Study of Social Issues, we'd like to welcome you here to this event. Our two institutions are the principal organizers of this, but we're grateful to have the Graduate School of Education, the Center for Studies in Higher Education, and the California Alumni Association co-sponsor this conference titled The Future of Higher Education, Creating Opportunity, Assessing Value. I want to make a special thanks to Chancellor Emeritus Robert Birgeneau, who's going to be our keynote speaker in a moment, but Chancellor Birgeneau helped envision this event and was instrumental in helping us put it together. I also, before I forget, want to thank both Christine Trost of ISSI and Charlotte Cowden of IGS for doing all of the heavy lifting. And, okay. So I think it's fair to say that higher education as an industry is facing increasing challenges from within and without. These challenges are spawning demands and proposals for new models of access, financing, accountability, and metrics for really capturing the worth of what goes on, of what our product, narrowly defined, is. And these metrics look at various things, including what is the value in terms of future income of a college degree and so forth. We are in an era where the halcyon days, which I personally remember and I'm nostalgic for, of state support and great public confidence and trust in higher education, those days are gone. We hear much more of campuses as islands of ideological conformity, havens for sexual misconduct, and areas in which wasteful spending on athletics is rife. So those are the headlines. And in this discussion, the role of the research university, which in many ways is an iconic American invention that has made this country a beacon for innovation with positive impacts throughout the world, this gets short shrift. We know that government investment in research, which was after World War II, was part of the expansion of higher education and the growth of science and technology with all its benefits. That's given way to an area what Chancellor Birgeneau calls disinvestment in education. It's forced public universities and private universities to respond with tuition hikes, new complicated funding mechanisms, but it also, this era raises, I think, serious questions about the maintenance of the historical advantage in scientific research enjoyed by the United States. The Lincoln Project, headed by Chancellor Birgeneau, has documented this problem, and we shall soon hear from him, as he's been a leader in a collective effort to try and stop the bleeding. Today's conference represents an effort to comment on the implications of these developments for universities, for students, and societies. We've assembled three panels of distinguished guests who are at the forefront of thinking about these issues: campus leaders, faculty, and researchers from across the country. I don't want to waste a lot of time reading the program to you. I assume everyone here can read and can read the bios in detail. So I'll just simply say that there are these three panels, beginning with a keynote address from Chancellor Bergenow, and that'll be followed by a keynote roundtable in which the participants will be Berkeley's Chancellor-designate Carol Criss, President of Johns Hopkins, Ronald Daniels, and the Dean of the Goldman School of Public Policy, Henry Brady. Unfortunately, Mark Becker, the president of Georgia State University, was waylaid by a storm and his plane could not get here yesterday. We're trying to see if he can be connected through Skype. And so that'll be the first panel after lunch. The discussion will move to investing in higher education, research, universities, innovation, and impact, and then we'll conclude with a panel on assessing value. So at the beginning of each panel, here's the drill that I've been told to read. At the beginning of each panel, note cards. Staff will distribute note cards. If you have a question for the panel, please write it on that, pass it to the end of the aisle. They'll be collected, passed to the panel chair, who will facilitate the discussion portion of the event. And after the final panel of the day, there'll be a reception outside in the atrium, and we hope you will stick it out through the entire day and be rewarded by those refreshments. So before I invite Chancellor Bergenow to come to the podium, the final necessary act is to ask everyone to turn off your devices of mass incivility, and so that we can proceed without beeps, paging, and the like. And I want to say that it's a pleasure for me to see in the audience so many people who have served the university for so long, both on the Berkeley campus administration and at the university, at what we call UCOP, or Moscow Center. But we love you anyway. So with that, it's my great honor and privilege to invite Chancellor Bergenow to the podium.